is story time. Today's story is how I lost my soul. So if you would like to know how I lost my soul, stick around, because it's a doozy. All right, to give you guys some context on how I lost my soul, I got to go back in time a bit to tell you about my past, and that'll set up the events of how I lost my soul. So a long time ago, back when I was in high school, I really didn't have any purpose. All I did was play video games, jerk off, eat food, pizza, and play video games. That's it. Had no real life ambitions at all. The only thing I really want to do is be in a creative field of some kind, art, video production, something. But I knew I was basically on a fast track to nowhere. So what I ended up doing was I enrolled in community college, and specifically for art. Things were going okay. What I didn't like about it first was I had to take a bunch of other classes besides art, which I really didn't understand, and I still don't to this day. I don't understand why I need to take history or science or whatever if I'm just trying to learn how to be a better artist. So all that kind of like threw me off my game a bit. I wasn't enjoying that side of it, but I was really excelling in the actual art program. So I pulled the art teacher aside and I asked him essentially, hey, is there any money in art? Is this a career that I can pursue after I graduate? And by art, I mean, my thing was charcoal sketching. That's really what I found the most fun. He said, art's not something you get into for the money, and there's really no career in doing this. Whether he was right or wrong, I know that there are people that make money drawing and making art. So either way, I took him at face value and I took his comments very serious. So I ended up dropping out of college. So I'm 20 years old. I've got no skills, no pathway to success. I have aspirations. I know what kind of lifestyle I want to live, at least, but I have no direct path to get there. Well, I grew up in a military household, and I've got a bunch of people in my family that have also been in the military. So I grew up around a lot of stories of other people in the military telling me their funny stories. So I always had in the back of my mind I was going to join the military and see what it's about. Well, when I'm 20, I realize I have nothing else going for me. And I'm at the age where if I'm going to join the military, now's the time. I can't be joining when I'm 25-year-old man in the military, because most people go right out of high school. Some people even get waivers signed by their parents to go even before 18. So I was already a pretty old guy when I went in at 20 years old, believe it or not. I went through a process of picking out what kind of job I wanted to have. They tried to change my job at the last second. And basically, a lot of drama went on for about 4 to 5 months. This process started all the way in January. January 1st, 2008 is when I decided I wanted to basically join the military. And from January all the way to May, it took that long to basically get shipped to boot camp because they kept trying to shift my job or my MOS around on me. They kept trying to just play sneaky games that the recruiters do. Stood my ground. I knew what job I wanted to do, and they try to really sell on how great of a position this job is. I think it's called Motor T. It's essentially you drive Humvees, and they're like, well, and you'll get a CDL, and you can use that in the civilian world. And they were really trying to sell it to me. Lucky for me, I actually knew some people that were actually in the military as a Motor T specialist. So I just called them up. I said, hey, they're trying to really sell me on this position here. What's your opinions? Should I do it? Yes or no? Overwhelming response from all of them. No, hell no, run. I hate my life. Do not do this job. I was like, I'm definitely not one to just drive a vehicle right over a landmine. That's the end of me. No. I picked a job that I thought could basically be used, trail closed. Anyways, I picked a job that could be used basically in the civilian world. And, imagine that just caved in right there. I'd be like, should've listened. I picked a job that essentially I thought would translate well to the civilian world. Like I said, they were trying to play games with me. So I was supposed to ship with a friend. We were supposed to go together. His job was locked in, my job wasn't. So he shipped out maybe 2 weeks earlier than I did. And then or no, I think it was maybe like he shipped out just a couple days earlier than I did. And then I was just chilling at home, and the recruiter called and said, hey, your job just opened up. Pack your bags, time to go. So I went from just chilling to just like scrambling to get out of my hometown and start my whole life here. Well, because I went late, that meant I got the entire boot camp initiation experience. I did it solo. I solo queued it. So what that entailed was essentially I got sent from one airport to another airport. I had like a yellow with me that had my orders in it. Well, right when I got to the South Carolina airport, and I was told inside this yellow packet, there's like vouchers for, you know, the food court at the airport, so you can eat when you get there, don't worry. So I skipped the first airport, didn't eat there, and I was like, I'll eat at the second one. Because the way I was thinking about it is I'll go there, I'll check in, and then that'll start this whole process. No, that is not how it went at all. The second I landed at that airport, I had no clue how they knew who to look for, but in retrospect, it's pretty obvious they were looking for that manila envelope. But they identified me like insanely fast, and I had 3 drill instructors in the airport screaming at me, telling me to get basically to like this special room they had for us. I go into this room, and it's essentially it's just me at first, and there's basically nobody there. Hello. There's no one in this room, and what they tell me to do after they've yelled at me a bunch is put my head down on the desk. Don't look around, put your head down. So I do that. At a certain point, then they give more people start coming in, then they give us some box lunches. Oh, I've never been over here. But yeah, I ate what I could of that, and then eventually it was time to actually move. So what they did was they started yelling at us, shuffled us into this van. I don't believe the van had windows or anything, but once we got into the van, they told us to put our head in our laps. Again, they keep doing this thing where every time they got you in this like holding position, they put your head down. So you're even more disoriented or confused about what's going on. So we all put our head downs in our laps, and we just start the journey. We're driving. It took about, memory serves, like an hour, or we're just driving, or maybe it was like the adrenaline of just thinking about it, a millisecond of like, oh my God, what happened to me? But it seemed like an hour. So we eventually get there, and the 2 other people get dropped off somewhere. I don't know what their story was or where they got dropped off at, but I know they did get dropped off. Get up on this sidewalk real quick. Duck in the woods. A lot of people here. All right. But yeah, they eventually got dropped on. I don't know what their story was, but so I was in the van by myself. I don't know what the front gates of this place look like. I don't even know anything. I'm hearing sounds. I'm not seeing it. I'm hearing sounds of people like do security gate points or something. I don't know what's going on at that time, but essentially it's a nice little trail here. Oh, geez. Nice. Oh, we got to check my camera. Yep, I lost it. All right, we got to retrace our steps and see if we can find a camera. Hopefully it fell right back here. This was super bumpy. Camera, where are you? Man, it could be anywhere because I've not looked in a while. Oh, man. Anyways, I'll try to find it, but I'll continue the story. So essentially, we get to a point where we stop. I hear a bunch of like grumbly voices on the outside of the van. They're conveying some sort of information. I'm not sure exactly what they're saying. And all of a sudden it goes real quiet, like the calm before the storm type of quiet. They start just banging all over the side of the van and the front of the van, everywhere. They're going crazy. They're screaming into the van with all the windows and doors shut. Head still in the lap, have no idea what's going on, super confused. And eventually they slide the door open. They just tell me to get out. Very aggressively, might add. Still scanning for my camera here. But tell me to get out. And then they make you stand on the yellow footprints. Camera, where are you? And that camera could be anywhere. So I stood on the yellow footprints, which are like really important in marine culture because every single Marine that's ever existed stands on the yellow footprints. So it's like a very important part of the process, but normally you do this at like 3 in the morning. My experience was a lot different because it was just me solo. So I was on the footprints by myself because I was coming in late. Drill instructors are just giving it to me. They're making fun of everything under the sun about me. I went to this room, again, another holding room, where I had to essentially sit there and wait. And what I was waiting for was that class to come through at around 3 a.m. So the class eventually, so I've been sitting in this room that's super hot. I've got my civilian clothes on still. They have some canteens that have water pre-filled in at the front of this room where you can just go grab a canteen right when you can and then put it on your desk. And then you put your head down and you're not supposed to look around or nothing. And but if you want to take a drink, you can. So what ended up happening was I was sat in this room for I had to have been there for 10, 11 hours, maybe even more, just sitting with my head down in this room. They gave us a little bit of lunch and the water, but the water was so disgusting that I could barely stomach it at the time. And what ended up happening was the classroom slowly started getting filled up with, I guess, other people who were getting in earlier than the main bus. And eventually the classroom gets filled, all with our heads down, completely silent. Drill instructor pops in every once in a while to yell at stuff. You guys didn't see a camera on the ground, did you? No.
I haven't seen one yet.
Okay.
Keep an eye out. What trails have you hit?
See just this one right here. I'm just seeing if I dropped it somewhere.
Yeah, I've been up a couple times. I haven't seen it.
Okay, yeah, last 20 minutes it happened, so.
Oh, okay.
All right.
GoPro?
Yeah, well, it's like an Insta 360, same deal, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll keep it on.
Okay, appreciate it, guys.
Look, dude.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, I've been sitting in this room for hours, drinking the disgusting water. We're finally getting processed. Or actually, right before we got processed, the craziest thing happened was I got really sick. I don't know exactly why, if it was the water or nerves or what, but I got super sick and I ended up needing to throw up, but I didn't want to ask permission to go do that because I thought that'd be super embarrassing. So what did I do? I took my hoodie off that was around my waist. I threw up into my hoodie while everybody else is kind of like around me like, gross. But I threw up in my hoodie, which was disgusting because those clothes that you come into boot camp with, all that they do is they throw them in a bag and they put them in a warehouse and it just bakes for 3 months. So my clothes that were being thrown up on were sitting in a warehouse for 3 months, getting roasted in the sun. We start to get processed. We're going through all the, the initiation, haircuts, phone call, all that stuff. And so,
you lose the camera?
Yes, I did. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man, no problem.
You're awesome. Thank you.
I'm glad I found you. I was like, how am I gonna try to find who's this?
I've been riding for like 2 miles trying to find this.
It was just right down on the other side, like right where it says
Appreciate it.
I took a picture of like my dog.
Oh, okay. It's okay. It's totally okay. Yeah. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, you too. Okay. Go ahead and get on and start recording again. Oh my God. I literally almost turned around to go find this because I was like, there's no way I hit anything over this direction that would cause this to fall off. I am super happy he stopped or found this. Can I do that? Highly doubt that'll stay there. No, it did not. Okay. All right, here goes my pocket. Gotta find a better spot for that. Okay, long story short, do the processing for the military, and now I'm getting assigned my actual platoon. Well, what ended up happening was I was a pretty out of shape, kid. The only sport I really took seriously was skateboarding, and that's an individual sport, so never really ran for track and field or baseball or football or anything like that. So right when you get there, they make you start taking a bunch of physical tests. How far can you run? All that sort of stuff. How many push-ups, pull-ups. I ended up being really bad at all of that. I trained nearly, I just apparently didn't do a good enough job. But I eventually went to boot camp and I failed those physical tests. and I got put into something called PCP, or I think that's what we called it. I believe the name was like pork chop platoon. It's basically for fat people. And I was just weak. I just couldn't lift things and run fast and stuff like that. So I'm out there struggling my ass off trying to run. Can't do it. Their drill instructors are running all around me, making fun of me, just talking about how the most I've ever run is in Madden, like just saying the funniest stuff ever. And eventually get to the point where, yeah, I failed. I am not getting assigned the platoon I thought I was getting assigned, which is big deal, because when you don't get assigned that platoon, that means your graduation date gets pushed back, and these are 3-month allotments that you're going to be there for. So after they grilled me about basically I'm not going to get assigned the platoon that I got assigned to, and seeing all my other people that didn't fail continue their training while I get stuck in like what's called, again, pork chop platoon, which is where they just like train you really, really hard to get you where you can actually be in a platoon. Well, before I had to start the training in the PCP, I had to make a phone call home. Basically, that phone call is a super quick, like almost like a script, like, hey, blah, 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 is now this date instead. Do not try to contact me, blah, blah, blah. It's like a very like formal military type of like sentence you read. After I made that phone call, I think the drill instructor picked up on like kind of what really gets to me. I hate failing and letting other people down. And I think he picked up on that, because what he did, I've never forgotten in my life. And he even told me that I would never forget. He took me out in the middle of the squad bay, just me and him alone in this giant squad bay. He's right up in my face. He's not even yelling at me at this point. He's just talking really sternly like a dad would, like really disappointed in me. And he begins to lay into me like psychologically about how I'm a disappointment to my mom, my dad. Imagine what they're thinking of me right now. Imagine of all the people you just let down. You let down everybody. You don't deserve to be a Marine. In fact, I bet if you even became a Marine, you would get somebody killed. You're pathetic. I would never want you in my squad. You don't deserve the type. Like, he went on maybe 10 minutes about how much of a piece of shit I am. Like, just would not let up, pressed every single button that I have. And I'm just standing there stoically staring off in the distance, going, aye, sir, aye, sir. Yes, sir, aye, sir. No, sir, yes, sir. Like, that's all you're allowed to say. So that's all I am saying. And he eventually gets to the point where he breaks me down. Like, I feel the emotions coming. I'm fighting back the tears, but he wins. One single tear rolls down my cheek. His whole demeanor changed. He smiled at me. He took off his hat, his big drill instructor hat that looks so badass when they wear it. He took that off, flipped it upside down, took his other hand and grabbed his little pointer finger, and he wiped the tear off my cheek. And he like showed it to him. He like put it right in my eye. He's like, you see this? He's like, I have your soul now. And he took that tear and he put it in his hat. And then he put the hat back on. And he said, you'll never forget me, and you'll never forget this. I own you. I own your soul now. And he is damn right, because I've never forgot that in my life. And that was like one of the craziest like 48 hours of my life. Because I joined boot camp. The very day I joined was my birthday. I throw up on myself. I get a special like initiation all by myself. I fail a physical test that I thought I was prepared for. I get dropped from a platoon. I then get told I'm gonna have to graduate late, have to call my parents, and then get told horrible things to the point where I haven't shed a single tear and get told my soul is now his. All within a span of like 48 hours of zero sleep. They don't let you really sleep in that first 3-day stretch you're there. So I was already like very like, what the hell was going on here? Wasn't having the most fun, but looking back, and it was a great time actually. But yeah, that's the story of how my soul was taken from me. And if you want to hear any other stories from my adventures at boot camp, just leave some comment below, or my experience in the military in general. If you guys want to know about that, leave some comments below. Like the video, subscribe, really does help me out a lot. And yeah, I'll be sure to post more. But yeah, that's my experience getting my soul taken from a military drill instructor in the Marine Corps. Hello. Hey. All right, so I'm gonna end the video here, back on the same trail we started on, and I'll see you guys this Saturday for the Shut Up Saturday video. If you don't know what that is, that's basically where I just ride and catch the ambiance and the ASMR-ness of the environment around me, and I do not talk at all. My last video, a Parsec Arrow unboxing, that video did not do too well, so I don't know if anybody's actually into it or if I just didn't make a good video. I do not know. But if you do want to see me ride that, definitely leave a comment below, let me know, and I will do that. All right, I will talk to you later. And